Welcome back to Music Makers Live here on Dash Radio. Today calling in, we have producer and DJ REZA, so let's just jump right into it. How long have you actually been music producing? Because I feel like it's fairly new to you, because I feel like we started talking about DJing and then you're like, I'm music producing also. So how long has it actually been?
I've been producing for about in August, it'll be a year.
Oh, wow. So it's fresh still.
It's fresh. It's fresh, but it's
Super fresh.
definitely full force. Like remember I don't know if I told you, but I have a couple of EPs and singles out on Spotify and SoundCloud, Apple Music.
Tell us the name. Don't be shy.
Dude,
Tell
check
everybody,
it
where can they
out.
find
So
it?
you gotta check out Let's Begin,
All right.
Addictive, and Housework. And then
Under
my
under
name
what
is
name? Under your name?
under Reza. Yeah,
Okay.
in all caps. Yeah.
Beautiful. So what gave you that boost to just start making music? Because a lot of times, with producing, it's like you have that knack as a young kid to play the piano, or maybe you want to get a drum machine early, or, be the next Dr. Dre or Kanye or
Yeah.
whatever. So was there something or a person that you saw and you're just like, oh, I want to do that?
There's a couple people that actually influenced me like throughout my life ever since I can remember from being a little kid. My both my parents, nothing but house music, just
No
that's
way.
like,
Really? Both your parents
yeah,
be playing house music in the house?
all the time, dude. Like I
Oh,
can
wow.
remember,
That's crazy. Interesting.
Sandstorm by Darude
Yeah, of
and all
course.
the like,
I
yeah,
used to listen to that like in high school, though.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, exactly. So that stuff was like, I'm like, oh man, I love this shit. Like this is like
For
amazing,
sure.
and I remember because right now tech house, it's like a form of house and techno like combined. It's really
Interesting.
big.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really big, and it's starting to aim towards people who don't like super techno-y like
Okay. Okay.
Berlin type
Tell us,
stuff.
for someone that might be listening, that's like, wait. What is the difference between techno and house? If you can, in, not like 4 hours, because I know somebody could probably geek out on like every minute detail, but like, what's an
Yeah.
overall difference between tech and house? I mean, techno and house music. Is it like vocals, no vocals, certain types of beats, certain BPMs? Like, is there a difference?
Yeah, so I think techno is more like that faster BPMs, like you're starting to go to like 128 to like 130, maybe 135. Not too many vocals, super, super repetitive, not too much ear candy is what they like to call it now. Like,
This is
those,
techno, you're saying?
this is techno.
Got it. Okay.
And then
Interesting.
house is more like bouncy. It's probably like 120 to like 126 BPMs. It's more fun. It's not as repetitive, still repetitive, but it has like more vocals, more like, one-liners, stuff like that in there.
So, like a song like "Call on Me" by Eric Prydz, that would be a house song,
That'd
or
probably be, yeah, like a
it's like
house song.
it's super repetitive, but it's one line over and over, pretty much. Call on me.
Yeah, and like if you notice like the kick in it, it's not like hitting as quick as like
Right, right.
like an Adam Bayer song or Carl
Got it. I
Cox
guess
song.
that's
So
why that
it's like,
song came to mind, because I feel like it does it. It's not like super fast, like but like,
yeah,
yeah, it feels like a real song, but real song in
right.
the sense of like a top 40 kind of song that wins
Yeah,
some.
that's a classic. Call on Me is a
Oh
classic.
my God. I still have memories like in the foam pit in Mexico, just jamming to that song, thinking that
Nice.
he was saying like, follow me, I think. And I think maybe it was just when Facebook came out. And I'm like, is this
Oh
guy saying
wow.
follow me? Like, follow me
Yeah,
on Facebook or
that's
something? Or
funny. That's
I
perfect
remember hearing
timing.
it and be like, what? And then someone's like, no,
Yeah.
there's an original song by a guy named Steve Winwood. Have you ever heard?
No,
Yeah, no, there's an original of that song. Very,
that's
very,
probably
very
where he
similar.
sampled it from.
Yeah, it's just he
Yeah.
sampled it. Very similar. There's a few extra lines, but yeah, it's pretty cool. But if you hear when
Sweet.
you hear the original, you're like, oh no way.
Oh
Crazy.
wow.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna actually check that out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just YouTube calling me original. It'll be the first thing that pops up, Steve Winwood.
Sweet.
uh, but
That's a little
yes, all
closer.
right, interesting. So Sandstorm was playing in the house. Your parents were playing Sandstorm. So were they like going to like raves and stuff? Like what,
They
where did
were.
that
They
come?
were.
They were? That's
My dude, my mom was telling me like, oh, there, because back then there was no like Instagram, like DM for location. So there was like, oh, like there'd be like notes and stuff that you'd have to follow this path and like, oh, drive down this dirt road like 20 miles. And like, if you
my God.
If you didn't get lost and you found it, you'd be at this like heart pumping, like pounding rave that like lights and lasers going on.
That's great. They went to the real deal because there's an episode of 90210 that's like that. I think it's the Euphoria episode or something, but basically they have to like take some flyer to a liquor store
Yeah.
and no, and then they have to go to another liquor store with an egg. And
Yeah.
then if they go there with an egg, then that guy would tell them where the party is or something. It was like a
Right.
whole
So it's exactly like that.
that's
And it's
so
crazy.
funny.
I remember them, my mom even told me, she was like, if you weren't cool or you weren't with the crowd, like a certain amount of people would get the right directions and a certain
Yeah.
amount would get like they'd get lost on purpose. They would tell them the wrong place,
Oh,
which is
no
so
way.
messed up. Yeah. Like, yeah, just drive here for like 4 hours and then keep
Oh, whether or
circling.
not they like you or you gave enough money. That's so funny. Oh my,
Yeah.
well, that's pretty
So it
cool
was
of them.
crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah. Kept growing up, I was like, I kind of, what could I do with this? And then
Right.
since once I started hitting my teens, I'm like, man, I can't make it big as like a DJ producer. Like so many people are doing this, and like it's like it's just the competition. But I always loved house music. Like I knew every song, I knew all the DJs, I knew everything. And then another person that influenced me was my girlfriend,
Yeah.
Sade.
Mm-hmm.
We were in Guitar Center one day. I remember I was selling the Native Instruments, the Mark III, that like drum machine, and I was
Yeah.
like hitting on it.
Is
She's
it the
like, "Oh
one
my
actually
god,
called the machine?
yeah, the machina or
Yeah,
the
yeah,
machine,
yeah. Oh, I love that thing. I love it.
dude, it's awesome."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yo, can I test this to the guy?" And he's like, "Sure." And I started, doing a little beat, and she's like, "Dude, that sounds like a song already. Like, do you
Oh
know how
my
to play
God.
this?" I'm like, "No, it's my first time." She's like, "You need this. You got to get this."
Oh
I'm like, you know
wow.
what? I do got to get this. And boom, from there on, it just kept on producing.
That's amazing. I love hearing
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, that was a moment. It was like
that was
channeling
it.
through you and like her
Yeah,
being there and everything. Because if she wasn't there, who knows if you would have bought it? You might have just would have been like, oh,
exactly.
this is cool. I don't know, whatever. Like,
Yeah,
who
100%.
knows?
I would have been like, yeah, whatever.
So
But
cool.
that
And
was the
just for
moment.
the viewers or the listeners, Sade is the daughter of Chef Shane, who was on an episode here. He's a world famous celebrity chef. Go Jeff, definitely go check out that episode. So cool how these little things tie in. And in terms of competition, I feel like you're only competing against yourself. Like you just got to make good
Oh, yeah.
music and like get into a good flow with yourself. Because I feel like the musicians or DJs or whoever like they have like a failure to launch kind of thing. They get all excited, they'll get some
Mhm.
gear, they'll watch tutorials, maybe they'll make a song or two or try for a month or two and then just be like, nah, whatever. And they peter out because they think like they should get like 100,000 subscribers in like week one or,
Yeah,
everybody hopes that their first song is going to be, White Iverson and just like explode on every
right.
platform. And like, that story of Post Malone going to sleep, posting the song and waking up and basically being famous to a point, like everybody kind of hopes that happens. But I feel like you're really just competing against yourself. Like if you could discipline and release content and
Yeah,
your fans will find you. Like
exactly.
there's so much stuff out
Exactly.
there, but like again, I feel like a lot of the people they just pigeonhole themselves by being like, oh, I need this type of gear, or it doesn't sound right. Like I have friends that'll tweak songs forever. They'll never
Hmm.
release a song. And it's like,
And it's
dude,
probably so good.
but that's the
Probably
thing. It's
so
like,
good.
bro, it's good. Like
You're like, just release it.
if this is what you could do today, release it. Your fans will
Right.
find you. You know what I mean? And if you
Exactly.
want to George Lucas it and change it
Yeah.
later and be like that, that's fine
Yeah.
too. Like that's all good. You can remix your own shit later, but like just get it out there. So that's cool that you're already like getting stuff out there because we talk a lot. We were talking about DJing, so I'm so happy that you actually took on producing and actually got some songs out there. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Is there any yeah,
I
yeah,
like
no, tell me.
producing way more than DJing. I started as producing, and I kind of like one of my biggest inspos is Boris Brusha,
Of
the
course, yeah.
German DJ, and that was the same story. He started producing so much that eventually they're like, "Dude, you need to like DJ for us. You gotta
For
like." So he's like, "All right." So it came hand in hand. So then I would assume the DJing just comes, with practice and stuff.
For sure. I mean, well, you've already been practicing. You have a DJ 1000. It's not like you're just for anybody listening at home, Reza's already actually, DJing and
Thanks.
practicing. He's being modest and he's got your first party's coming up, right? You're doing your first
Yeah, I have a gig.
professional paid gig coming up, right?
Yes.
When is it?
Yes. It's the 24th on Saturday,
Oh,
and it's already
this
sold out.
Saturday?
Yeah, it's Saturday. It's already sold out in the South Bay, and I'm
Oh,
so
wow.
excited.
What kind of music are you gonna be playing?
It's gonna be tech house.
Tech house.
Yeah.
Wow. You must be so excited.
Oh man, I have this killer set that I've been practicing, and I got like 3 or 4 of my own tracks in there, which I'm really happy because not a lot of people are, putting their own stuff in there. So for
Right.
me to
It's
like
risky too
throw,
because people
it
don't
is,
know it, they might
yeah,
not clear the dance floor. Hopefully people are vibing just the party
yeah.
that they just stay jamming. But that's risky, bro. I love it. Living on the
Thank
edge.
you, thank you. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, we're definitely gonna talk after your party. I want to know how it goes. Are you gonna be using the DJ 1000 at the party?
Actually, we're going to be using the CDJ 2000 Nexus 2s.
Yeah. Okay, cool. You'll be pretty familiar with the whole they look very similar. Like at least layout wise, it looks
Yeah.
pretty similar. Like the 1000 is as close, I think, as you can get to a Nexus setup without actually having the Nexus setup. So that's cool. It's gonna be super legit.
It's like a
Got it.
restaurant, and then they, certain weekends, they, rent it out for like
Yeah,
gigs
yeah.
and events and stuff. So
That's
either
crazy.
way, if it's for 5 people, 5,000, I'm
It'll
going to
be
give you the
fun.
best set. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Either way, I mean, it's gonna be so much fun, and well, then you'll really see what DJing's like. It's easy to say, "Oh, I like music producing more," until you feel that rush of actually being on that stage and like the music is coming through you. Like if you don't press play, there's gonna be silence at the party, and everyone's gonna be staring at you. You know what I mean? So like you're
Yeah.
literally in control of that whole vibe. So and when you're playing the banger and like you press play and
Yeah.
everyone just pops and is like, "Oh," like well,
Exactly.
there's very few feelings that are similar. Maybe like landing a skateboarding trick or like, but there's
Yeah.
very few feelings that are similar to pressing play on a banger at a hype
And
party and
everyone's
everyone.
like just like jumping up and down. Yeah.
The
Oh man.
best. It's the best. You'll definitely have to let me know. I'm curious how
For
that
sure. We'll
party's
do
gonna go.
another episode afterwards.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. So are you producing now using the machine only or using a keyboard? How do you produce? What's your process? Walk us through that a little bit.
So I actually sold the machine, and because in the beginning when the machine came out, it wasn't integrating with Ableton as seamlessly.
Right, right.
So you'd have to like, do your recording on machine and then send it to Ableton and like, get all the stems and everything. So I sold that, bought a little MIDI keyboard,
Yep.
and now I've been using that as my main source of, figuring out the melodies and the bass lines and all that. And it's been working a lot better.
Do you just use the pads on the keyboard or are you actually playing the keys?
I'm actually playing the keys.
Oh, nice. Can you play the piano or are you just kind of picking it up as you go?
I'm actually learning the piano. So the
Nice.
music courses at UCI have been helping a lot, and
Yeah.
like music theory and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also have a electric piano on the
Oh,
side.
nice.
Yeah, so I try to get in at least half an hour every day,
That's
just
good.
doing the scales and everything, because I feel like that's where certain songs stand out and shine. Like
For
if
sure.
you remember that one line from that one song, it's all about the like that one chord that one guy put in
100%.
there.
Tell me why.
Yeah, exactly. See?
Everybody on earth knows that. No, I don't have to use it. But yeah, no, I love that. That's super cool. Do you do any vocals yourself or you can't sing at all?
I personally don't like my own vocals too much, but I have put in some of my own vocals. And then with all the cool plugins that you have nowadays, I have my vocals in there. I have Sade's vocals,
Oh,
and then I
nice.
have my brother's vocals in there as well.
Oh, that's cool. Older or younger
Yeah,
brother?
he's younger.
Oh,
He's
nice.
21.
Cool. Very cool. What when you do vocals, what kind of vocals is it? Is like 90s talking, like uh-huh, yeah, girl, or do you actually like sing or like what kind of vocals you dropping?
It's honestly, yeah, it's a little bit of everything.
Oh,
You
nice.
know, yeah, I'll tell Sade like, give me like a sexy like I'd be careful type of thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, I love
And
it.
then like I'll make my voice deep and make it like, are you ready type of
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
Yeah, so it's all over the place.
Real McCoy, Barbie girl, Aqua type stuff. Oh my.
Exactly.
Well, if you
You got to
ever
keep it
need
fun.
a low voice for any of that's one of my dreams is to like be in like a 90s song like that and just say like, uh-huh, yeah, girl. So,
Oh
just
man,
something
you
like that.
got it.
Come
100%.
on.
You're going to be on the next EP.
uh,
That's it.
done.
For sure. I always love working with new people because it's fun to get different plugins go, only so long, but like it's all about the original voice of everybody. You know what I
Course.
mean?
Just the vibe, the energy. You never
Yeah.
know what is gonna pop out at a session.
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
all right, so I'm gonna hit you with some questions that I ask everybody.
Do
Do
it.
you remember the first album you ever got? And do you remember what format it was in? A tape, a CD, an MP3?
Ooh, the first album.
Yeah, while you think about it, I'll tell you mine. Mine was, well,
Okay.
I had a whole list of tapes, like the, Vanilla Ice, Crisscross, all that stuff. My first CD I ever got was The Simpsons Sing the Blues because the Bart rap was on it. Like the Bartman. Yeah, do the
Nice.
Bartman, do the Bartman. It was a huge song in a 1990 or whatever, 89 or 90. So I had to have that CD. Yeah, do you remember by any chance? It's a tricky
You
one. It usually
know,
takes people a second
yeah,
to
so
come.
one that comes to my head and I remember it's so funny, always playing it on repeat. My parents not only listen to house, but they listen to like hip hop rap.
Yeah.
And I remember having the red and blue CD of Tupac, the Better
Oh, of
Days
course.
album.
Yep.
Yeah. And just like
Nice.
bumping it. My dad's like, what was it, like a 95 Jetta.
Yeah,
He
of
had like
course.
212 subs in there. And I remember every time we got to my grandma's house, she's like, Reza, turn that shit down with her Iranian accent. It was so funny. She's like,
Oh
why do
my
you need
god.
these subs in here?
Because it sounds better.
It does. You need the bass, the low end.
You need it. That's so yeah, Tupac was one of my first CDs for sure. The double album, All Eyes on Me. I remember
Oh, yeah, that was a
I
good
mean
one.
blasting that. All eyes on me. Like, oh man, that's a good one. Do you remember the first concert live show you ever went to?
Give me your first one and then let
Well,
it come to mind again.
my first one was my father took me to the Rolling Stones when I was 9, and the Spin Doctors opened for them. If you remember that song, Two Princes from the 90s. If you don't, you should go listen to it. As a huge
I'm gonna check that
90s,
one out too.
yeah, huge
That
90s
sounds like a
jam.
sweet concert.
Yeah, oh, it was amazing. And I really like the Stones at the time. I think Start Me Up was on that album, like Voodoo Lounge or something. Gotta start
Oh,
me up.
nice.
Or maybe not, maybe Start Me Up from the 70s or 60s. Someone's gonna
How
be
old
young.
were you?
I'm old enough where I'm not gonna reveal my age on this on this podcast. But I was a little kid and this was in 1994.
Right on.
I'm in my 30s. And
You
yeah,
look like you're in your teens still,
yeah, I'll
bro.
take it. I'll take it. And now I'm like, I wonder what year Start Me Up came on. Someone's gonna be yelling at me. But yeah, it was super fun. And then I took my sister to two Backstreet Boys shows, like her and
Yeah.
her friends. And then I went to a 98 Degree show myself. And then
Oh, nice.
a lot of Snoop. Like every time Snoop came, I went to Snoop, and then 50 Cent a bunch of times. John Mayer, really great
That's
show.
sweet.
Yeah, and
So
then
you've been to a lot of concerts.
when I up until a certain point, up until maybe like 21, and then because I was doing a lot of radio stuff, internships, different things like that, so I was getting to go to a lot of shows also. And then I kind of stopped. I don't know, sometime around 20, early 20s. I went to a Lady Gaga New Kids on the Block concert, and that might have been one of the last concerts I went to. And then she had a solo show. I went to her show.
Nice.
Yeah, that might have been one of like the last shows I went to. But now there's all these like revival concerts, like 90s, like Vanilla Ice and whatever, O Town and 98 Degrees. All these
Yeah.
boy bands and different people are on tour, and there's a lot of shows I want to start going to see again. I feel like I've been slacking on that the last 10 years, but yeah, you remember the first show you ever went to?
Um, the like earliest one I think I can remember because I didn't really go to too many concerts when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But
Oh, who
like in my
does? I mean, barely,
yeah, yeah. But like maybe when I was like 18, 19, I remember, the DJ Mac J,
Yeah.
familiar?
Hmm.
So this was back when he wasn't that big yet. He was
Okay.
opening for bingo players in
Okay.
Arizona. Yeah.
That's a
So he was
good name,
opening.
bingo players. I like that.
Yeah, they're fun duo too. I remember having a blast at that one, and it was cool because Mac J wasn't as big yet. So I
Right.
got a photo with him. Him and my buddy we got a photo together, and it was like the coolest thing. I'm like, oh shoot,
Oh,
knowing
that's so
someone
cool.
before they get big is so like
For
such a
sure.
cool feeling, you know?
Oh, it's the best. I know. I've said this a bunch of times. I saw Gaga right before she blew up. And like
Yeah,
when she did blow up, I was just like, I knew it.
nah,
Because
that's
you could just,
cool,
sometimes you could just tell, sometimes
right?
you're like, oh, this person, they're going to be big. But with her, for some reason, I'm like, next Madonna. I'm like, pop music is back. And
Dang,
like,
you called it.
I just felt like that we were due for like a resurgence of pop, and like it really did
Yeah,
open the floodgates after that, because like the new kids came back, so like boy bands came back. One Direction like popped up not too long after that, and Katy
yeah.
Perry really took off after that. Kesha, a whole bunch of people, and it really opened up pop music again. But that's the one I'll take. I take credit for in my head. I'm like, I called that one before,
Nice.
every now and again. But were you in any bands in high school or anything? I feel like everybody that ends up in music is always in like 19 different bands in high school.
In middle school, I was in the drum line,
Oh, nice.
and
That's cool.
yeah, I was one of the
How is
lead
that? What
snares.
kind of practice schedule is that?
Dude, honestly, because in high school, like if you were in drum line, it wasn't considered as cool. I don't know why, but in middle school, it was like the shit. Everyone was like, "Damn, you're in drum line!" Like, wow.
Why was there a difference?
I don't know. It just the shift of like, I guess getting older, people didn't,
Think it was
think
as
it was
cool.
as cool. I always thought it was cool, but I don't know. I shifted towards
Interesting.
wrestling and weightlifting when I got to high school.
Right, right. Well, you're so jacked. So wait,
Nah,
were you
thanks.
jacked then? Were you working out then?
In middle school, yeah.
Yeah. When did you start working out? In middle school?
Yeah, probably like 12, 13-ish, I would
Oh,
say.
wow.
Yeah, when I was young, like 10,
Lifting
maybe
weights?
lifting weights, 13, yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean,
Definitely
I
13.
feel like I definitely had a weight set in my room when I was younger. I had a whole bunch of different like plastic feeling weights with like sand in it, probably, or
Oh, yeah.
something, or like some
The like
old,
purple weights and like the
yeah, a
blue
bunch
ones,
of
yeah.
those, and the ankle weights and just different things growing up, for sure, fitness wise. That's so funny. But that's crazy that you started at like 12 or 13 and stayed consistent with your fitness.
Yeah, I was kind of a chunky kid when I was like 10, and I ate a lot of junk food.
Oh, interesting.
And I remember in middle school, we were playing basketball, and a couple of my buddies were like, "Oh, like shirts versus skins." Back then it
Oh,
was always
buddy.
shirts
So
versus
that was
skins.
the catalyst.
So they would take off their shirts, and then I remember like I'm like, dude, I can't do that, like
Oh,
I felt
man.
so like embarrassed to do it. So I'm like, you know what? Like screw this. I'm not gonna be fat anymore. So all throughout middle school,
No
I just
way. And you were
ran.
10, you said? You're 10 when this
I was
happens?
like 10, 11. I'm like, this is not
Wow.
like I gotta change something.
Most people go through that 30 times and then still never lose a pound. That's crazy. At 10, you had the discipline to be like, Mom, I want some weights. So,
It
do you
wasn't the
remember?
weights.
Well, yeah,
13
what'd you
was
start
probably
doing?
the weights.
Well, what'd you start doing at 11 to start slimming down? You cut down on junk food? I mean, how is that possible at 11? What'd you start doing at 11?
So how in middle school they have you do PE,
Yeah.
and like they'll like 2 days out of the I don't know week they have you do like okay you have to run around this area like 3 times, four
Right,
times
right.
or whatever. So I took that seriously. I'm like, all right, I gotta do it. Let's do it. So I
Huh.
remember there's this stamp system at our middle school that you run around and the guy would stamp your wrist, and if once you hit 4, you're done. So
Oh,
it's like
wow.
you
Okay.
wouldn't, you had to go around.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember the kids, one person would get a stamp, and his homie was waiting in the front by the gate, and they would go like this to be like, "Oh, cool! Now we got 2 stamps. We only need 2 more. We don't have to run." I was like, "Nah, I'm running all that. Like, I gotta burn this fat off."
Oh, wow. So everybody else was cheating in gym class and you took it seriously at 11.
Not everybody, but yeah, a
And
few
so,
of
yeah,
them.
not everybody. I understand. And you started shredding up at 11.
I was like, time to get shredded. By the time I'm like in my 20s, I'll be perfect.
Oh my God. Well, it's paid off because you're super jacked.
I
We started off the
appreciate it.
conversation talking about that, but I'm gonna cut out that first little bit probably, and we'll talk about it here. But that's so crazy that you had that moment at 11 and decided to turn it up. So do you still eat super healthy, like no sugar and stuff like that?
Not like no sugar, like psychotic. Like no, I can't have
Right,
this.
right.
You gotta. It's all about. It's all about balance.
Yeah.
Like maybe throughout the whole week, I'm eating really clean, and then like on Sunday, if I want like a couple pieces of chocolate or like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know
yeah.
that
Like
bite of like small cheesecake or something, it's all right.
for sure.
But for
All
the
right.
most part, I don't drink soda. Drink a lot of water.
Yeah, the soda's a big one. That when I
Soda's the
stopped
main
drinking
thing.
soda, yeah, because it bloats you up too. So
Yeah.
some people could stop drinking soda and lose like 12 pounds in like 3 days. I feel like they just completely
Yeah.
deflate.
Seriously, my cousin, she stopped drinking soda, and in a month, she lost exactly like you said, 12 pounds.
Yeah, no, I
She
believe
didn't
it.
change anything else.
I believe it. I had the first time I shredded up. It was like I wasn't 11, but someone it wasn't like a skins versus shirts thing, but it was like someone said something to me like oh, living good or something, implying that
Yeah.
I've just been like eating a lot. And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
what? Did you just say that to
How
me? And I
dare
like
them? Yeah.
that day I think like I just went on a whole weight loss thing, but definitely sugary drinks, sodas, all that was like, and fast food, that was like the first kind of kick, basically.
Yeah.
And even in that first month of just dropping like super bad fast food and sugary drinks, like I went from like 180 to like 160.
It's crazy how much it like takes an effect on you.
Oh yeah. I mean, there was a point in my life I was eating like 3 bagels a day, just not really realizing it. Like I'd eat one right after I work out, and
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'd have one an hour later, and then like 2 hours later, and then have like a meal. But
Mm,
then if you actually like count the calories, like 1,000 calories just in bagel. So
yeah.
you
And
don't
they're so
realize some,
good though.
yeah, little things that little tweaks you can make. And I dropped bagels at one point, and it was like in 2 weeks I was like shredded, not literally, but
Nice.
it was noticeable. And I'm like,
Right.
oh crap. And I did the math in my head real fast. I was like, oh my God, I guess I've been eating 3 bagels a day,
Dang.
almost 300 calories each, 900 plus whatever I'm putting in the bagel, peanut butter,
Right. The cream cheese, peanut butter. Yeah.
whatever, all types of stuff. But so yeah, that's crazy that you got shredded up at 11 and started lifting and
I
around.
mean, I wasn't like
No,
shredded
no,
at
I know, but
11, but
still, no. The point, it's the mentality. It's the
yeah.
mentality of I want to get healthy and skinny. That you had
Yeah.
that turning point so early. And I think working out and keeping a healthy body goes into what I was saying earlier about having the discipline or the mindset to overcome yourself and actually like get stuff out there, release stuff. Because I know a lot of people that have been producing a year and they haven't released anything yet. Everything's sitting on their
Yeah.
computer. They got a hard drive
Right.
full of 8 bars that
Yeah.
that they won't add on to it because they'll get the next idea, the next idea, the next idea.
Hmm.
And it's like, no, 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 no. Relax a
Finish it.
second. Like, you think
Yeah.
Kanye just like sat there just spitting out bars all day? Like there is those moments when you're just channeling, but you write
Right.
down those ideas and then you go back to them and you add to them. You see what's good. You drop the ones that aren't good. You let that.
Exactly.
So and I feel like working out helps because you get that discipline so early to put in that workout into your schedule once 3 times a week, 4 times every day, whatever it happens to me. Like I work out every day in the morning. It's pretty much the first thing
Nice.
I do. I've pretty much trained myself to not eat until I work out. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like,
nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I cannot put a piece of food in my mouth until I've worked out. So at least like that's trained me, because then even by like 9 in the morning, it's like, okay, I've already worked out. At least that
Right.
part of
You
the
got that
day,
out of the way.
it's already out of the way. It's already tackled. I'm not, because then I feel like you're tackling it all day. You're making excuses all day. Like, should I go to the gym? Should I not go? I worked out hard
Totally.
yesterday. I don't really like the workout. I can go tomorrow. No, no, no. The whole, it goes through a whole cycle. And I'm definitely someone that's like that. I'll be like, I'll just do it tomorrow. But
Yeah.
I think in working out, it stops me from doing stuff like that. It's just like, no, 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 get it done and then move on
Right.
to the next thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
And you feel accomplished because now you're like, cool, like I finished one thing already today. Now I
exactly.
can move on to the rest of my tasks
And
for the
that's how
rest
I
of the day.
feel music is too. That's why I try and tell like producers or people coming, people trying to do stuff, or like even the guy I used to work with, like, yo, just
Yeah.
finish it. Cause then the next thing you know, it's like we got 100 songs sitting there on YouTube
Right.
or Spotify or whatever that you could pull from that you could send to people and show people like this is the vibe, not just like come over and sit
Exactly.
in my studio and I'll play you 19 unreleased half finished songs. It's like,
Right.
okay, thanks.
And in a way, like, okay, those half finished 8 bars are probably really good, but you're kind of you're not progressing because
Exactly.
how are you gonna get better on finishing a track, on mixing a track, on mastering a track? You got to
All
go
of it.
through the whole process instead of just doing half of it.
Well, and then when a client hires you to maybe produce a track for them for money or whatever, they want to know that you're going to be able to actually finish something, not just come up with
Exactly.
19 different 8 bar examples and be like,
Right.
you like any of these? And just like, and then
Pick a
not,
loop, any loop.
yeah, exactly. And then spend 19 days picking out a kick. And it's like, come on, just pick a kick that sounds good for this moment and move on, like,
That's it. I
yeah,
try to restrict myself. Like, I think another big problem with producers is they're so caught up on all these, like, oh, buy this sample pack, buy this sound bank, buy this. But like,
especially
if you
now.
just stick to one
Right.
and you just even restrict, like, there's probably what 10 kicks in a sample pack. Out of
And
those 10, pick five, put it on your Ableton, and
exactly.
only pick one out of those five.
And even tweak around those five if you want to. Pitch around
Exactly.
those, there's nothing stopping you from manipulating those five that you already know are good. And it's like people are like they think they need to listen to 10,000 kicks to pick one and it's like how many
It's like,
songs were
no.
used making an 808 or a 909, like how many hit songs have the same sounds in it,
Yeah,
but
the same kick, the same bass.
the same kick, the same drum. It just do it in a way that still makes people want to flipping dance or whatever,
Exactly.
and it's all good.
And a lot of times keeping it simple is way better than like 40 different sounds.
Well, simple for sure, and like people underestimate. I feel like classic sounds too. Like when I hear a piano in a song, that gets me always. Like that Jack,
Oh yeah.
Jack Harlow, "What's Popping." As soon as I heard that, dun, 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 like whatever
Oh
that
yeah.
riff is, I'm like, oh, hit. The second I heard, I'm a hit. And like
Yeah,
you wouldn't think so
100%.
if someone was just like, "Yo, pull up a piano." You'd be like, "What? No, why?" Or whatever.
Right.
Like not everyone
Yeah.
just goes to like a grand piano sound or whatever. But a good melody played perfectly.
Exactly.
You know
A
what I
good little
mean?
riff, a good something to like, look, that's what we remember from that song,
Then
you know?
it's like
That's it.
literally five little notes,
That's it.
but it's perfect. And you're just like,
It's
oh my
perfect.
God. You hear some of those and you're just like,
Like Snoop Dogg's Still Dre. It's two
oh.
things on a piano, dude.
I mean, well, don't let Dr. Dre hear that. But I mean,
No,
but
he's a legend. Like
that
he's the
cello,
best.
in
Yeah.
that song, that dun, dun. But yeah, no, the dun 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 dun, dun
Right.
that
Like
that
when everyone
exactly
hears that, oh shoot,
immediately,
that's yeah.
immediately. There's a lot of I mean, like a G6 is one of my favorite simple
Oh, that's a
songs
good one. Yeah.
because it's pretty much repeated the whole time, but it's like once you learn that like dun 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 dun,
Yeah.
and you play it yourself, and you're just like, oh, this is hype. There's a bunch of good uh Far East movement songs that are like that girl on the dance floor. The Stereotypes. There's a YouTube video of like
Uh-huh.
Bruno Mars in the studio with the Stereotypes while the guy's like making the beat, and you could hear him. He's like going through going through the sounds, and he hits on the perfect sound, and then he does the like girls on the dance floor like melody, like just all right there, like da 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 whatever it is. I can't think of it while we're
Yeah.
talking,
Yeah.
and everyone in there is like
Going
it's
crazy.
going crazy because the second he found this song, Bruno and the other people are like, oh, like the second he tapped on it, like right away, everyone knew, oh, that's the sound. Okay, all
Right.
right.
Yeah.
And then he played the melody, boom, 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 and you're just like, what
You're
the
like, oh
heck?
man.
It's electric.
It's
That's a cool video. If anyone's out there, go YouTube. stereotype girls on the dance floor in the studio. Watch Bruno Mars in there before he's famous and everything. Very
Wow.
cool little video of a producer making that beat, just boom right there, and seeing that
So
magic
cool.
happen. Yeah, very cool. What's your current playlist? What are you listening to these days?
I'm listening to, well, I like two types of house right now that I'm like heavily listening to. It's like the tech house, like Jay Wara, Black V-Neck, Beat Sonic, Michael Bibi,
Oh,
stuff
nice.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I also like, Boris Brescia, Dennis Bull, Mark Knight, that other type of like heavier driven
I love
Adam
it.
Bear type stuff.
What platform are you using to listen to your music?
Probably the most that I use is Spotify,
Okay, cool.
but to find the like underground, like, the remix stuff, so I'd probably use SoundCloud.
SoundCloud to find new stuff? Does it suggest you new stuff? How do you I'm not so familiar with SoundCloud, so because I've heard that also that the Genius suggestions in Spotify are pretty good, like what it
They
suggests
are.
you.
They're getting
So
better.
are they?
There's a new update on it where it like gives you better suggestions, and then like once you add it to the playlist, it'll give you the option like, oh, like, does this go with this song and stuff like that.
Interesting. Okay. So
Yeah,
how
but
does SoundCloud work? How do you find
s-
new stuff there?
SoundCloud works if you have the pro version. You
Hmm.
search a song and then you can make kind of like Spotify, the radio of it.
Okay.
You can click on the radio, and then they give you stuff that isn't as mainstream, which I really
Oh wow.
like.
Just
Yeah,
random stuff that's on the platform that
yeah,
people hashtagged whatever you're listening to, techno house or whatever.
right, exactly. And then
Wow.
you can look up playlists and different genres and stuff, and it'll give you like tracks that have like, maybe like 60 listens, that are the track's so good,
Right.
whereas like Spotify is going to give you the most popular hyped one right now.
Huh.
So it's good to
Okay.
have a little bit
Got
of
it.
both.
Got it. So
Yeah.
Spotify's become more of a mainstream radio station, and SoundCloud is still showing you random people, maybe, or
Yeah,
more
I feel
random people.
like,
Interesting.
yeah,
All right. That's very cool. Last question before you go. And before you go, please tell everybody where they could find you everywhere on all social media.
oh, so you can find me Instagram at Reza Amin Salahi, Spotify, Apple Music, and SoundCloud, all caps, Reza. If you type Reza and then housework, you'll find me a lot faster.
Okay.
And
Why is it
well, I'm
just
not the
works?
biggest
Right,
Reza
right.
yet.
Got
There's a
it, got
lot
it.
of like Iranian Rezas that are like playing Iranian music,
Right, okay.
but I didn't want to change like my name or like have a different alias. I wanted to just boom.
Do you?
Yeah.
I feel you.
Um, oh, one more thing though.
Yeah, of
I will
course.
be posting my set on SoundCloud
Okay,
after
perfect.
this Saturday, so be sure to check that out too. I feel like
Nice.
you'll like it.
Send me the link, and
You got
anyone
it.
that's listening to this later on YouTube, I'll leave the link in the description.
Sweet.
Boom. All right, so last question before I let you go, and definitely got to come back because I want to know how your first
For
professional
sure.
party goes. In your childhood bedroom, what posters were on the wall? Was it wrestlers? Was it Mariah Carey? Was it the Spice Girls? Was it Peyton
Ooh.
Manning? Who was the most dominant in your bedroom growing up, or still maybe now? I don't know. Maybe you have pictures of the Ghostbusters in your room right now.
Oh, you know what? My childhood room, I remember there wasn't too many posters, but I had it was painted blue, it was all blue. And then I used to play basketball a lot when I was younger,
Yep.
and my dad was my coach. So I remember at one of I don't know how he got his hands on it, but it was a cutout cardboard of Michael Jordan.
Oh no way! I had a Michael
Yeah,
Jordan like poster, but not a cardboard
yeah.
cutout.
And he asked if he could take it home.
No
And I'm like, can I put that in my room? Like, can I
way.
please have
Can
Jordan
I
in my
still
room?
put that in my
So
room?
he's like, yeah, go for it. So I remember having that. And then I didn't have a poster, but like you, the Ferrari, I had an orange, like
Like a model
Lamborghini.
car?
Yeah, like on my dresser, and that
Oh,
was just
nice.
still is my favorite car.
Which one? Do you know? Do you remember?
Um, Honestly, everyone would probably choose the Aventador because it's
Yeah,
like the
well,
biggest.
yeah, yeah,
But I like the Huracan or the
yeah, of
Gallardo because
course,
it's like smaller. You can like still zip around
of
everywhere, and it's still a
course.
Lamborghini. I really like too is the Urus.
I love the RS. Yeah, it's
It's
everywhere.
beautiful.
It's
Yeah,
everywhere
they have
here.
a lot of people have it.
Yeah, it blew up here in LA. I mean, it's a good price. I'm sure they're probably trying to get overs now. I was at the Mercedes dealership yesterday, and they're
Yeah.
trying to get $240,000 for a used G Wagon with
Wow.
6,000 miles on it. I laughed so hard.
What?
Luckily, they know me there, but I laughed so hard. I'm like, you guys enjoy this markup now. Like, as soon as the boat drops off
Dude,
a few more shipments, that's going
that's
away.
insane, man.
Yeah. 75
That's
grand
more.
over sticker for a Maybach, like 200 grand over for the Black Series. They had one hiding in the back. They were trying to get like over 500,000. I'm like, guys,
Oh my.
I'm like, there's a shortage. I get it. They had S classes sitting on the lot, brand new ones that they
Yeah.
were already sold that they couldn't deliver yet because they were still missing parts because part shortages and stuff. So it's like,
Oh wow.
the markup and all that's real, but it's like when they told me the price for this G Wagon, I was like, because
Dude, you could go get 2 Uruses almost.
no, well, that's why I'm saying they're probably saying some crazy number too. That's what I'm saying. Like the Urus is probably 280 grand or whatever it costs.
Yeah.
I'm sure if we walked into Lamborghini Beverly Hills today and we're like, we want a Urus, they would be like 420,000, good gentlemen.
Seriously, they
I
would.
bet you.
Yeah.
Because once I heard these prices, like again, even on a Maybach, the sticker on the Maybach was 160, but they wanted it had a sticker next to it, market adjustment, $75,000.
Oh my gosh, that's
I
ridiculous.
was like, are you guys serious? But they're like, it's the only one we have right here. Normally we would have six, so somebody would have room to negotiate. But it's like if someone walks in right now and they want it,
That's
we don't
it.
even know when we're getting the next one. I mean, the guy probably knew. They probably had another one around the corner. But like
Yeah.
the point is that normally they do have six lying around, but they only had one. So they're like, listen, if somebody wants it, you know, like this is pretty much the
Jeez.
price unless you walk in with like actual cash, then you could probably get a better deal. But yeah, if you want to walk in
Yeah.
and finance it that day, yeah, that was the
That's a
price.
hefty markup, 75K.
Yeah, 75K over sticker. I was like, wow. I mean, well, I was once they told me the G Wagon price, I'm like, all right, I'm happy I have a car right now. Thank you,
Yeah,
God.
seriously.
It's crazy
Yeah.
right now. But bro, thank you so much for taking the time and coming on the show. I really appreciate you calling in. Definitely, you got to come back after your gig. I want to
Oh, for
know
sure,
all
for
about it
sure.
because I mean, I still remember the first party I ever DJ'd. Literally, I have such memories of it because it's ingrained. So I'm sure it'll definitely be an experience for you. So I'm very
Oh
curious.
yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It
Yeah,
was
of
a
course, bro.
blast. I had
Anytime.
a great time, and for sure,
Anytime.
I'll give you all the deets about the show.
Yeah, 100%. We're moving to a studio sooner than later, and when we do, you'll definitely come in the studio. Maybe we'll do some live stuff, some live
There we go.
mixing or
Some
something.
of that low voice. Put it in a couple
Oh
EPs.
my God. Don't even get me started, bro. I
For
will be
sure.
on a hit song in my lifetime.
You will. Let's do it.
Oh, brother. Anyways, thank you again so much and have a great night.
All right, man. Thank you. See you later.
Talk to you soon. Thanks again to Reza for calling in. And until next Monday at 11 a.m., I hope you guys have a great week and bye for now.